Gowon is a war criminal who presided over starvation, murder of millions during Nigeria's civil war, IPOB. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has slammed the former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, retired, branding him a war criminal who presided over the murder of millions of civilians. The organization also accused the former military leader of overseeing the starvation of millions of Southeasterners during the Nigeria Civil War. The group, in a statement issued by its media and publicity secretary, Emma Powerful, responded to recent media interviews by Gowon in which he reflected on the Nigerian Civil War and his leadership during the period. In a statement, IPOB dismissed Gowon's comments as a coordinated propaganda campaign aimed at whitewashing his role in what he described as Africa's most brutal civil war. Let us be clear, Gowon is a war criminal. He presided over the starvation and murder of over 5 million Biafran civilians, mostly children, and a deliberate weapon of war, the statement reads. That Holocaust places him in the shameful company of the worst mass murderers in history. Gowon was Nigeria's military head of state from 1966 to 1975, presiding over the country during the 30-month-long Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970, also known as the Biafran War. The conflict began when the southeastern region of Nigeria, home mainly to the Igbo ethnic group, declared independence under the leadership of late Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. The new republic, named Biafra, cited persecution and marginalization of the Igbo people as primary reasons for secession. The federal government under Gowon launched a military campaign to crush the secession, leading to a humanitarian disaster. Estimates of civilian deaths vary, with most sources citing over 1 million, mainly due to famine, disease, and blockades of food and medical supplies. Over the decades, the war has remained a sensitive and polarizing chapter in Nigeria's history, while Gowon has long maintained that the war was necessary to preserve national unity. With people dying, you say it is necessary. How was fighting necessary? Okay, there was no other way you could preserve national unity, preserve peace in your country than marginalizing some set of people, making them starve to death, buying them and all of that. You are saying that you were preserving national unity. Are we united now? This is 2025. Are we still united? Cases including many in the southeast have accused his regime of committing atrocities amounting to genocide. IPOB accused Gowon of orchestrating a campaign of extermination against Biafran civilians. He referenced the blockade that cut off food and medical aid to the Biafran population, bombing of civilian infrastructure, and the abandonment of peace initiatives, including the 1967 Aburi Accord, a failed peace agreement reached between Nigeria and Biafran leaders in Ghana. IPOB also criticized Gowon's recent attempt to cast himself as a peace-loving statesman. Of course, they know he's not a peace-loving person. The man should just confess. I don't know why he's still hiding. He's over 90-something years old and he's still... Are we going to say he's afraid of death? Why not confess yourself so that you can have a clear passage instead of still trying to cover up? The group said it is morally sickening that the man who ordered the bombing of hospitals, schools, and refugee centers now seeks to be remembered as someone who loves Nigerians. You cannot massacre people and claim to love them. It's not possible. The group drew a direct line between the past and present, arguing that the insecurity and lawlessness now engulfing parts of northern Nigeria, including Gowon's native Middle Belt, are karmic consequences of the 1967 to 70 war. The same forces he unleashed on Biafra have now turned their daggers on his own people. Gowon is now a refugee in Abuja, a ghost in a country that he destroyed, the statement stated. IPOB further alleged that Gowon was shielded from international accountability by the British government, accusing the former colonial power of backing the Nigerian federal side to maintain access to oil reserves in the southeast. Unlike Hitler, who faced judgment at Nuremberg, Gowon escaped justice not because he was innocent, but because the British government, motivated by his pathological hatred for the Igbo race, shielded him, IPOB said. The group also referenced aid workers and relief agencies during the war, who described the humanitarian crisis in Biafra as a calculated extermination, reinforcing its claim that the suffering of civilians was not incidental, but intentional. IPOB challenged Gowon to answer questions regarding military strategy, international complicity, and post-war reconciliation, including why British authorities strongly supported the Nigerian federal side. Why were relief centers bombed? They even bombed relief centers. Can you imagine? Why were aid workers raising alarm of genocide? What has been done to compensate victims' families? IPOB asked. The group insisted that their struggle is not driven by revenge, but by the pursuit of truth, justice, and the right to self-determination for the Igbo people. Our mission is not vengeance, it is truth, justice, and national liberation. We will never allow the murderers of our ancestors to rewrite history with ink dipped in blood, powerfully declared. Gowon, now in his late 80s, remains a controversial figure, while he has received accolades over the years for his efforts to maintain Nigeria's unity and his no victor, no vanquished post-war policy of reconciliation. Critics argue that the crimes committed under his leadership have never been fully acknowledged, let alone addressed. His Nigeria Praise initiative, launched in the 90s, promotes interfaith unity and peace. However, IPOB has dismissed such efforts as spiritual posturing and moral laundering. IPOB was founded in 2012 and has since grown into a vocal separatist group advocating for the re-establishment of an independent Biafran state. The group has faced repeated crackdowns from the Nigerian government and has been proscribed as a terrorist organization by Nigerian authorities, a designation IPOB strongly rejects. IPOB declared Biafra is not dead, Biafra is a spirit. That spirit is alive in our bones, in our minds, and in our souls. History will remember Ojukwu as the man who tried to save lives, and Gowon as the man who feasted on corpses. The man really did a lot. And probably he thinks because a lot of people from the war period, they are all gone, feels that there are some people that do not remember, and he's trying to take the matter to the grave, because I don't understand why you cannot just say the truth and allow these people have what they want, apologize to them for everything that you did, and just let bygone be bygone. But no, you are still trying to cover up for what you did. It is well. My listeners, over to you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.